Morning, everybody. It is so good to have you here with me.
Imagine if you have your vision as the car with the right team.
Imagine how quick that vision will come into the picture. Something that was taking 5 years takes 3 months. This morning is all about the leadership and influence. It's that time of the morning. Good morning, everybody. Greetings this morning. This is your host here, Carl Hendricks, on the Inside Show. We are busy with insights on politics here, and last week we had a full house here of streamlined politicians, and the week before that we had streamlined politicians here. But I know the politicians that we have here in the studio here today is equally important, just as important as streamlined politicians, because they can swing any ballot and any vote and any decision on any platform at any point in time. Well, with us here this morning, we have wonderful people with us in the studio. They're going to introduce themselves shortly. But before we go there, I would love you please to sign on to this platform, and next to it, I would love you to subscribe, and next to it, you'll see a bell there. I want you to hit that bell every single time when we come on live. You will know that the Inside Show is live. We are busy with politics, and so exciting. We are living in very, very exciting times. More than ever, we have independence. And today in the studio, I'm going to give everybody 2 minutes to give us an introduction of who they are, what they are standing for, and how strong they are, and what's their beliefs, and how they feel they will be able to conquer these massive giants that's here in the same arena where they are busy fighting. Well, with us here, I'm going to start. I think I'm going to give the lady opportunity. We've got a wonderful lady politician here in the house here, and she's going to give us an introduction about exactly which party she stands for and why she's standing as an independent. We welcome here this morning a young, wonderful, vibrant lady by the name of Dikeletsane. We give you an opportunity. Welcome to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Good morning, everyone. My name is Dikeletsane Ntsoana from Ward 21, Kaebetsoe, and I'm here to represent the community of Ward 21. And I was elected by the community of Ward 21. So I am an ordinary community member. We even went into the peaceful march just to show how much we are concerned about the best interest of our community. So that is Dikeletsane.
Yes, a warm welcome to you there. Then I've got here on my left here, Mr. Shakir Baker. A warm welcome to you, sir. Give us your 2 minutes there.
Thank you, Doctor. I think it's important to remember that I'm in a ward where there's 2 independent candidates. So Shakir Baker from Ward 11, City of Johannesburg, and I am out there in it to win it. I think the dynamics needs to change. Politics is not about political parties, it's about the people, particularly at local level, and it is the people that must lead the people. And that is where we are today. We are tired of promises that is being made. We are tired of people not delivering. And I have been with various political parties, and I know for a fact this is no talk show for me. They are in it to promise you things just to get their numbers higher. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for keeping to your time there. I would love to welcome Mr. Nkosana, just to give us your 2-minute rundown on why must people vote for you.
Thank you, Dr. Hendricks. My name is Nkosana Mabhena, standing for Ward 66 in the city of Johannesburg. Our message is simple to the people out there. It's time for change. You have invested in all political parties your votes. It's time to give independent candidate an opportunity. To be a councillor, you don't need to belong to a party. You represent the people as a whole. So we are saying we are available as the independent candidate. Give us a chance. Community of Ward 66, I'm out there representing you, chosen by you. I will deliver where necessary, where I can, where is possible. Together with you, we are one. Tumamina, ngizohamba ngibuye.
David Fisher.
Yeah, good morning. I'm David Fisher, and I'm representing Ward 74, which is basically the northeastern suburbs of Johannesburg. I am the sitting councillor at the moment. My party chose not to put me forward as the candidate. The community were very upset, and the community then engaged with me, and I took this leap of faith into standing as an independent. I have, over the last 5 years, enjoyed the time that I have worked with my community. I've had a very good rapport with them, and they are very supportive of me going forward. I think I have to agree with my friends here that it's time for a change. I think we've seen a situation where somebody said to me the other day, it can't get worse, it can only get better. And that's what I think that we as independents want to do. We want to represent the man on the street. We want to represent our community. And really what I'm saying to voters is please vote for the person and not for the party.
Well, that's a mouthful there. Mr. Kaebetsoe, please.
Morning, Doc. Morning to the listeners, the viewers. My name is Kaebetsoe Malebo, also known as Sticks within the community. I'm an independent candidate standing for Pimville under Ward 22. I'm advocating for change as a young leader. I'm advocating for good standing, economic development, education, sports and recreation, accelerated service delivery. I've been doing a lot of work on the ground as a young leader, helping the community as best as I can with a lot of things, especially service delivery. My community knows that I'm the right person because I'm always on the ground, and whenever there's a problem, I'm always there. Whenever there's a solution, I'm always there. I believe that our lives shouldn't be dependent on political structures. That's why I raised my hand to become the next ward council for my community.
Yeah, a warm welcome to all of you again here for our listeners out there. Please be so kind, send us some questions in. We want to ask these fine gentlemen and lady here with us in the studio some questions here, and I'm sure they will give us all the answers. Well, to start off, I would love to give everybody a fair opportunity, but with this question, really anyone that wants to start off, you are more than welcome. And the thing about debates and the thing about the discussions here, if you notice something that you want to add value to or on the same question, you jump in. Don't wait on me. You just get in. You flow there. It's your time. If you don't make use of this airtime here this morning, it will just fly this morning. So what is the journey of an independent candidate? So to arrive at a place where none of 200 plus registered political parties appeal to you. So the question simply is, there's so many political parties out there. The simple question is, why not just line up with one of those and just jump in? Anyone, just go.
I think I would want to come in there.
Yeah.
It is important to note 200 plus political parties is creating chaos in our country. We have too many political parties, unfortunately, and these multi-political party systems we have currently in South Africa is the problem that we are having. That's where the inherent culture of corruption grows, because everyone wants a seat and everyone is willing to go into the corruption seat so that they may earn an income that satisfies them. I personally have been with two of the major political parties in this country, and I can tell you that none of them is in it for the community. They can say what they want to say, and every time they're going to make new promises. As independents, I don't think none of us are making promises. What political parties are doing. What political parties need to understand that the dynamics of politics in South Africa is changing. Maybe in this election we won't be so much independence that's going in, but surely independents are rising.
Mr. Nkosana, what's your view on that? Why don't you just join a big political party?
Look, it's not a matter of not joining a political party. It's a matter of being a servant of the people. What makes us make this decision? It's because we recognize that being a political party, you end up being aligned to the norms and conditions of a political party more than what the community requires on the ground. When you are a servant of the people, you prioritize what people want more than what the organization wants. Because now you are serving two servants. You are serving an organization and you are serving the people. So now if you are an independent, your mandate is simple. You're serving the people.
Yeah, now, I was listening to David Fisher. You mentioned something very interesting, that you were standing for 5 years in a specific ward for a specific political party. So you move away from them to stand independent. Why that move?
Well, standing as an independent is going to give me so much more power in the council. When you're part of a political party structure, you've got a caucus a structure where you are then forced or obliged to vote for whatever the party says. So in Johannesburg, in the last term, we had the review of the nodal policy. So the nodal policy came up for review, and it was presented in council. A lot of councillors felt that it was not granular enough, and it didn't take into account all of the different aspects of this very diverse city that we live in. A lot of us felt that it should have gone back and been reworked, but because we were part of a caucus system, we had to vote with our caucus. Now, in my case, that was not good for my community. It was probably good for the whole of Johannesburg, but in my community, we wanted something that was much more specific. And one of the problems in Johannesburg is it's the biggest metro in the country. It's full of diversity. From one end to the other end, it's very different, and we've got to try and give the people what the people want, as opposed to what a political party has its policies and it has its philosophies. We I think have to bring these down to a grassroots level. We have to look at what is just good for our community, and maybe what Johannesburg needs is to be broken up into more manageable little sub things, a bit like Cape Town, where we as the people on the ground will have much more impact into our specific areas. So that's part of what I thought was important, and what I'm trying to sell to residents in my ward is that I will have this independence that makes me focus solely and very clearly on what is good for Ward 74 and the areas surrounded.
So my question to you, David, would be simply, what will you do different than the bigger political party that you used to stand with? Didn't they see exactly what the need was for the community? What's your take around that?
That's the core of this issue, is that we've got to see what are the needs of the community. And that's what an independent is going to be able to do. An independent is on the ground. He knows what his community want. He experiences that on a daily basis. He's going to use that knowledge.
Give me a typical example that the bigger political organization didn't do what you can do now for them.
Well, I think my nodal review one is a very good one. The city as a whole looks at a big picture, and it says Johannesburg, with its 5.5 or 6 million people, needs a piece of policy, and it puts that policy out. I don't think that works in Johannesburg, because if you look and you look at Region E, which is what I come from, we've got Alexandra in it, and we've got Sandton Centre. So those two can't have the same policies. What works in Alexandra is not going to work in Sandton Central. So we've got to try as independents to bring much more granular or policies which are specific to different areas. And they're all different needs, and that's what we, I think, will bring to the table.
If you're out there, please send us some questions. We would love to ask these politicians, these independents, some questions here this morning. Mr. Kaebetsoe, you tell me, what's your take? Why specifically independent, and specifically there's more than 200 registered political parties? Why not just join one of those?
Firstly, I'm not a politician. I like to openly say that I'm a good standing member of the community. And why not a specific political party? Because I haven't seen them on the ground. They're not focused on basic needs of people, as my fellow leaders are saying. The most important thing is basic needs of the people. So if you're not delivering basic needs for people, I see no need for me to join you. For example, the ruling party within our community has never done anything for us under sport and recreation.
Who's the party in your area?
It's the ANC.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the ruling party. Yeah. So, for me, it's based on me seeing you on the ground, visibility, not just the colors of the flag. It's based on the work that one does. You know, I mean, as we know right now, we are faced with we are under COVID right now. So there's a lot of things that we need for the people, or rather what the people need. We've been having a school that hasn't had electricity within our community for over a year. And the political party, the ruling political party, hasn't done anything to help the people. In terms of food security, you know, as you know, a lot of people lost jobs. What are they doing to help? When it comes to health, you know, they're not doing anything. So I'm really not inspired to be joining a political party because of I haven't seen their work on the ground, and that is what inspires people, being on the ground and making sure that you know the needs of the people.
And adding on that, my leader, what I have noticed is...
Just a little closer to the mic, please.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What I have noticed is, I think to get to where we are today, it is because of the frustration we have as the community, due to the, you know, every ward has their own political party that they vote for. So if you have a problem as a community and you lodge disputes, you know, you try to send the message that we want change, we want this and that, and then they do not deliver. You take that stand as an independent candidate to say, you know what, I will be the servant for you people. I will do right by you. You understand? So the problem that we are facing is that the political parties we believed in failed us. Hence, we are here today as independent candidates.
Yes. With the manifesto launches and no campaign teams and literally zero media coverage and very small budgets, of course, how do you wish to campaign against established political parties? Where does the money come from? How do you do that?
It is not easy.
Yeah.
It was not easy, but with the help of the community,
Yeah.
I managed to pull it through with them. Even the door-to-door campaigns, it was not just me, it was me and the community. And you know, the effort that they put, the dedication just shows you how much of change they want in Ward 21.
Anyone here? Your contribution?
I fully agree with my leader over there. When it comes to finances, when it comes to media coverage, it's very difficult for us as independent candidates to actually put out a message out there, because as we know, media sells us, you know, in terms of reach, you know, because of, yes, like for example, my ward, we've got like about 8 voting districts. It's very difficult without media coverage to cover all those voting districts, because of, yes, you might do the door-to-door, you might do the groundwork, but in a community of hundreds and thousands of people, it's very difficult for you to cover everybody, and especially when it comes to the finances, because I'm an entrepreneur. I do home improvements, and I've got a fencing business as well. So everything that I'm doing is from my pocket and with the help of the community, with donations as well, because of you don't want to be seen as extorting money from the community. So with community engagements, them helping you, I really appreciate, because of I had an assistance from the community donating banners, you know, close friends, you know, donating pamphlets to say, we want to see you there, you know, and when they see you going and they see you working, that's when the support comes, because in my area, Pimville, we've got like a lot of radio celebrities and people that in the media space. So when they see you working and they see what you believe in, because for them to believe in what you're doing, you first need to believe in yourself for them to actually help you. So with community engagement, with you starting, the community will follow, and the community will help you with the little that they have. So the budget is very strenuous, I must say, because of
and how's it how is it going with media coverage? Are they helping out there? Did you guys try to get hold of ENCA, SCBC, and all those? Is there space for independence on these stations?
Yeah. I've gotten a lot of media coverage because of the stance that we took within the community. I mean, we marched to Megawatt Park with my close friend in Tlantla. We protected Mabhena Mall as well. So you can imagine that when you're working on the ground, media will always follow you. So for me, it was the help of the community, with us marching together, with us finding solutions for our problems together, where the media then follows you, because of I had Newsroom Africa and NCA and a lot of interviews.
You go.
Okay, I think it's important to note, for many independents, there might not have been a manifesto launch. For me in particular, there was. I made sure that I wanted to be out there. People must know what am I going to do. We have a campaign team on the ground as I'm speaking. And I've received endorsements from leaders in our community that I myself was surprised for. One of the biggest disappointments is the media coverage. I've approached local radio stations in our community to say, just interview me, ask me anything, call whoever you want to, place me on a platform with big political parties. But unfortunately, they were telling us that 30,000 rand for an interview and advertisement, and that we don't have. The budget campaign already, by the grace of God, I am able to have. I have posters, I have flyers, I'm well marketed in the area, but it costs lots of money. I think close to 30,000 rand already, just in what we are spending already, and the elections isn't yet done. Election day on its own is a cost. Where we are compared to establish the funding that they are getting, we can see that parties in the last election that was small, who went in coalition governments with the government of unity, are campaigning big times. We're seeing big banners of them now on the roads because they have made it successful.
Look, maybe to just come in, colleagues, to add, to be honest, IEC is not assisting us. You can talk of free and fair elections. When it comes to media, campaign, education processes, this is where IEC should excel in terms of saying it's free and fair by giving each and everyone a free platform. Me being independent does not mean I must be limited in terms of exposure. And this is what IEC is doing. We cannot be asking us as independent candidates to go to the media and source a space for ourselves when you have already sourced a space for others. We are equal. We are all competing at the same level.
But
so in me saying that, it doesn't mean that I shouldn't find my way through. But all I'm saying is that in the name of free and fair, I'll give you a simple example.
Yes.
Political parties, when they went to sign a pledge, every media house was there. But when independent candidate went to sign a pledge, there was no media coverage. Why is it so? When we are all competing for the same goal, same purpose. So all we are saying is that when we say it's time for change, let everything change. Let even the acts of IEC needs to start changing and accommodate independent candidate. We need funding. If they are saying free and fair, if you are giving political party funding, okay, give independent material to market themselves as much as the political parties are marketing themselves.
Tell me before you get there. I would like to know, if you look at the ballot paper,
Yes.
Mr. Nkosana,
Yes.
if you look at the ballot paper, how will they print the ballot paper? Is it a general ballot paper? Is it a ballot paper per area? Will your name and face be on it? Will there be a logo for the independent on it? What do you expect on there?
Looking at the ballot paper, because we have seen it, there is nothing different. The only difference is that where there is an independent, it's a face and IND, which means my political party is branded as IND when you look at it. But it's my face, it's just the same as the face of a political party representative.
How many independents do we have?
Okay, I think it's firstly, I just want to come in here. Firstly, ICASA has given platform to independents. It was one slot. Unfortunately, we had no choice on what the slot we were given. We pulled it 2 weeks ago in Midrand. When we pulled it, we were given a slot. And then we had to prepare our own recordings and everything for the community radio station, or the one radio station in the city of Johannesburg, which is Radio 2. However, it is not about the IEC. The IEC is just an independent institute implementing the law. It's about us who's going in to ensure that the regulations and the bylaws around elections needs to be changed vigorously so that independent candidates must be included, not only included in election funding, but that the funding be looked at depending on area allocations and not depending on the size of a political party. Because currently funding is allocated according to the size and the number of seats you sit at provincial and national level. So that is how they're getting their funding. Hence, we are saying that needs to change. And hopefully in the 2024 local, provincial and national elections, when independents can contest that election as well, for the very first time, we will see dynamics in changing that has to happen.
I can imagine as an independent moving, going through your area, how the giant parties as they have their posters and billboards and stuff up there. How do you compete against that?
Well, one of the things that I've done, and I've been massively surprised at how well I've been supported by the community. I printed little pamphlets, and I got 5,000 of them. I have distributed in my ward 5,000, not me. People have come forward and they have said, give me 100 and I'll walk down my street. Give me 20 and I'll put it in all the flats in my building. Using that kind of community network, and I'm lucky because I'm the sitting councillor, so people do know me or have had experience of me. But I think that's what we're feeling on the ground. Is we're feeling on the ground that there is a swell of wish amongst the people to get closer to local government at the local level, and they're prepared to put in money. They're prepared to put in effort and time. And they're prepared to put in enthusiasm, and it's this enthusiasm, I think, which is going to swell us. And you asked just now how many independent councillors or how many independent candidates. There are 44 independent candidates in Johannesburg. There are 135 seats in Johannesburg. There are 135 wards. There are 2 of those that have 2 independents. The rest of us, we're all single independents. That in itself shows, I think, that there's this swell of moving away from the big political parties at local level. I mean, they probably have a very big role to play at national and provincial level, but at local level, people want to come home, they want to switch on a light, they want to be able to flush the toilet, they want to be able to drive on the roads that are got no potholes, that are properly marked and lit and things like that. That's what we're offering, and we're going to use that as the incentive to get people to work with us and to help us and to spread the news and to spread this kind of enthusiasm and this almost infectious something in this upcoming election, because we're going to see, and I'm convinced of this, we're going to see a very different shape of local politics on the 2nd of November. I think that the days of the big parties are probably now not quite so strong as they were. There's a brand new player on the block in Herman Mashaba. We don't know what he's going to do and his party's going to do. And there's all 44 of us out there trying to tell the people something's changing.
Campaigning is not as easy as it was for the bigger parties, isn't it so? Yeah. It's much harder. So tell me, what's the view of the voter down there? If you knock on their door and you say, "Can I talk to you? I'm so and so." What's their take on that?
I think I'm sorry. People are excited, especially in Ward 21, because we have never had an independent candidate. So this is new. People are excited. I think it's a good opportunity to give to the people to be able to choose the councillor of their own choice. Because it was always just the one-trick pony, you know. When you go there, you have to choose the one party that you always believed in. So now it's not even about me. We have 3 candidates, independent candidates. It's in Ward 21. So this is the right opportunity for voters to actually choose the councillor of their own choice. So people are excited. They want to stand there with you when you do your door-to-door, when you knock on their doors. They want to listen. They want to know more about the independent candidate. So it is exciting. We are ready. We're just waiting for the 1st of November to see the outcome.
I just see passion with you. Eh?
Yeah, she's very passionate because I'm also passionate as well.
You guys are surely not in the same ward, right?
I'm in Ward 22, no. It's very exciting. For me, it's as a young person that is advocating for change within society, The ground for me is very fertile because a lot of people know me within the community. As I mentioned, there's a lot of things that I did for the community, and that's good. As I mentioned, the stopping of looting within our community, the electricity. Whenever there's a problem, I'm always there for my community. That's why they were excited to have me as a candidate. And unfortunately, I'm the only one within the ballot paper. It's the only face on the ballot paper that they got to see. So just to redirect a little bit, for me, it's exciting because my face is there. It's the face that people can familiarize themselves with, so people want to familiarize themselves with the face that they know, that the face that they've seen on the ground. So that's why they're getting excited, because of the things that I'm doing within the community. I'm trying to help donate a library for the kids. I'm trying to fix sports and recreation within our community, electricity issues, food security. So when they see somebody doing something great within the community, the ground is eventually going to be fertile, and it's going to be an exciting journey, because if you can imagine, currently I'm one of the strongest people within my ward. I'm toe to toe with the ANC, and I'm shaking them. Having a tap, because of we have sports fields, but within our communities we don't have irrigation systems.
Sure.
So when you are inspiring big parties like the ANC and they are following what you are doing, it's great. That's why the community will stand with you, because of you are trending and you are setting new grounds for these big parties that campaign traditionally.
You see, I'm very, very encouraged to see that young people are taking charge in these elections that are coming up, and it is very good. It shows that change is coming, and to add on that political parties are shaken to an extent that they are doing their best to suppress us. They are doing their best to decampaign us in wherever they are. But the reality is, people relate to somebody they see on a daily basis. They know where we live. But do you know where ANC live in your community?
Yeah,
do you know where any political party live in your community?
Tell me a little about how do you think they depress you and suppress you? How do they keep you under? How do they want to take you out of the game? Yeah. Is there certain things that's happening around your area and that you know of that you want to share?
Well, I'm one of the person that defied the norms of a political party. So apparently, wherever I knock in the door, I'm being told that they passed there and they said I'm not on the ballot. I'm not standing as a councillor. Wherever they go, apparently, I think, as you said, I'm motivating certain political parties because their campaign has increased ever than before, and mostly they come where the ground is fertile for me.
What's the need? What's the need in your area?
Look, we have a challenge with crime. Especially crime is too much in my area. Like as I speak to you, there's about 3 people, 4 people that were murdered recently, especially in Pesval. The crime is rising there. We have challenge of drugs.
And how do you plan to fix? How do you plan to fix that? If there's crime, how do you plan to fix that?
Because the only way to fix it is to give back to the community to take charge of their own places. Because if you say you're working with the law enforcement, but when the community knows that they are in charge, they make decisions for themselves on how they want this community to be, you've done the best. Because political parties take power out of the people, because you create this reliable mentality to say, okay, no, so-and-so is going to fix it. It has moved away from the people. But as soon as it gets back to the people to say, if you live in our area, we need to know who you are, what do you do, who is who. then it makes it easier to avoid such elements of crime. Then working together in collaboration with the law enforcement agencies, you will be able to deal with crime, because I can't live next door with a criminal and still keep quiet.
How's the potholes in your area?
Well,
I think you only have crime. You don't have pothole problems.
No. We do have potholes. We do have challenges with the infrastructure in the area, because right now in my area, what is mushrooming is these guest houses that come from all over, which is they are not approved by the urban management. You do have roads that right now Joburg Water was doing a lot of pipe change and stuff, but they never came to close those walls properly. So now, as you are driving through, you stand a chance of falling into one of those walls. So we do have a challenge with the infrastructure and maintenance.
As an independent, I think David can help us out here, because he was currently just recently sitting on that, in that structure. Now, if you're a small party, how do you influence the bigger parties around the table to come and fix your ward, seeing that it's not their man in that ward or their lady in that ward? So they will not pay attention. They will ignore you. Do you have that type of power to go in there and say, I'm an independent, you're going to fix the roads, you're going to put taps in, you're going to do certain things, the crime levels are so high? What's your take on that?
Well, I think the first thing that we have to recognize, and we have to reassure the voter, an independent councillor will be a councillor. He will be no different. He'll have just the same powers. He'll have just the same connections. He will be involved with all of the entities within it. And we all understand the structure between the legislature and the administration. If where we sit in the legislature, we can't give instructions to the administration. We can only encourage them. So what an independent will do, hopefully, is he will build those relationships with Joburg Water, with the depot manager. He'll know the depot manager's name, he'll know the depot manager's phone number, and he will have a relationship with him. He will phone him up and say, on this corner, I've got a water leak, there's a sewerage problem, or whatever it is. So independent candidates or independent councillors will not be compromised in any way in their dealing with the city. In fact, they will probably be empowered to deal with the city, because there isn't any of this friction between political parties and all the rest. We are just human beings. We're real ordinary people that live in the community, work for the community, and I've had tremendous success with, well, not tremendous success because it's been very difficult, but I've had some success with the entities. And you talk about potholes, and JRA is a big problem at the moment. But because Kaya Mbandla, who is the depot manager, knows me and I know him, and we have a relationship, where there's something that he can do, he will do it for me. Not because I'm anything different, but that I'm standing there on behalf of ordinary people who live in the road and who work in the area. Those are the sorts of things that I think the advantages that an independent brings to his community, and hopefully we can dispel this fear that we're going to be this toothless person that has no power. Somebody talked about us as being backbenchers. We're not backbenchers. We are front line, on the ground, working with the community.
David, you should be strong on that. You should be strong on that. Let's go. Just before you run, just after you, we'll just ask our producer. There's one or two questions that's out for the panel here today. Let's hear what the community want to ask here. But you go.
I think it's important to note independent candidates will play a critical role in these elections, because wherever independents will win, you must remember you are a ward councillor in your community. In councillors, they've said you are a councillor. And when you go as a councillor there, your vote is as equal as any other councillor's vote. And I've advice from prominent political leaders in this country, and one of the advices they gave me, they told me, your vote is your lobby card for the success of your ward. It's your lobby card for the success of your ward. Not only for the success of your ward. Like I'm predominantly serving two communities, a so-called colored community and an African community. And there's this one political party that's going around speaking of a marginalized society. Although I personally don't believe in the term or the ideology of colored, I believe that we are South Africans and we are valuable. And I am saying, it is because they have been marginalized that we continue to classify ourselves as so-called colored people. And that is one of the critical things that need to. I'm not in it for Ward 11 only. I'm in it whether it is Yalarado Park, Reveille, Nuclear, Westbury, Ennerdale, whichever so-called colored community that has been deprived previously. I am saying our days of being deprived are done and dusted. We are part of this country and we are not an orphan. We are not the orphan of the city. I, in fact, wrote to the city of Johannesburg, the mayor, when the newly elected mayor, Herman Mashaba, in the last election came into office. And I asked a very critical question. What are we going to do of a community called Klipspruit West that is an orphan child? We neither form part of the greater Eldorado Park nor the greater Soweto. Where do we fit in? We are used when Eldorado Park wants benefits or when Soweto needs benefits, and we fall in between. So I am saying we are not an orphan child. Rise. We are equally the sons of the soil of this community.
There's a view. Guys, I like it when you come out strong. Come out strong. Your people, they out there. They see you. And at the end of the day, political parties, specifically the big ones, they put people on the billboards. People don't know them. And after 4 years, you'll see them again in the 5th year, and you are there constantly handling the pain of the people in any case. So you're serving them in any case. We've got questions here from our producer Leandra, and let's hear what the questions are out there.
Firstly, thank you so much to our independents who are here, and thank you so much to our viewers once again for interacting. So we've got a comment here from Nontlantla Moyo, who says, I wish you all the best to all of you. And then we've got Llewellyn Oliver saying that, in my opinion, the big parties are taking the voters for granted and are aiming to win based on the strength of their party following. He says that sadly in my ward, I haven't seen the face of anyone contesting this local government elections. And then he said that when he asked the existing councillor about this, the response was that he is retiring. I've seen political party gazebos on the odd weekends, but no effort to engage. So your opinions on that?
David, we'll start with you there.
That's the core of exactly what we are here. We're here to engage with the community, for the community, and it's that passion that we bring that makes us different from anything else. And I think we've heard it around this table this morning. Each one of us has got something that we feel that we want to give to the community. We don't want to, we don't have political aspirations to become MPLs or to become MPs or anything like that. We're on the ground, we're for the people, we're with the people, we understand the problems of the people, and we're going to go out and continue to work towards the upliftment of the people. If you look at how bad we are at the moment, somebody said to me the other day, it can't get worse. Now, I don't know what everybody else feels here, but it does feel like in Johannesburg that we can't get worse. We've got to go forward, and we've got to go forward with strength and unity. And that, I think, is what an independent brings. He brings this kind of ability to encompass the whole community. We don't represent any little particular subsection of the community, and I've made that a policy for the last 5 years, and I'm going to carry on doing it. Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter where you live, doesn't matter what your political stance is, doesn't matter what your economic stance is. You are part of my community, and we together make a cohesive community. We've got to build cohesive community. We've got to break this barrier down where we see ourselves in different pockets, and we've got to see ourselves as straightforward residents of Johannesburg. We all have the same needs, we all have the same desires, we all have the same fears. We want to overcome our fears and build on our desires.
Let's hear what Dikeletsane have to say here on that point.
Voters are very important, and I think this is the time where they understand that. That is why the system has changed. Voters now, they know their strength. So without the voters, political parties are nothing actually. So number one, we have to respect the voters. We are on the ground, we listen to the voters, their concerns. We are there. You must be present as a councillor. Whenever the voters want you, they must find you. Yeah. You must be very approachable. You must be there to listen to their concerns. Whenever they call, you must be available. You must avail yourself always within your ward. So if you are an absent councillor, no one will vote for you. So it is best for councillors to respect the voters, to understand them, to understand their needs, to be there. Hence, we are in this situation today. People are changing because they know their worth.
Nkosana.
But to just add on what colleagues are saying, we applaud IEC for recognizing us and allowing us a space to participate, to giving that change. And now the dynamic here is that political parties, they don't understand that whether we get media platform or not, we are well marketed in our areas. We are already well known in our areas. The only thing that people did not know is that we can stand as individuals. We can stand as independent candidates. Now it is the time that they know that. So that's why you find that even if they go to the media space, the interaction of a social media and a physical space, it's totally different. So for us as independent, we are saying we are there for the people. And we are chosen by you. For us to qualify at IEC, it's because we require a certain number of community votes to say we are electing this person to stand on our behalf.
Do you guys see more and more independence coming up in the years to come?
Firstly, I think yes, independence will come up in the near future. But before I go into that, class, I want to reflect on one of your viewers' question about the gazebos going up and all that. Come and tell you what is happening around politics. Political parties has become relaxed around the issue that they got voters in certain areas. Yes. They've become comfortable with the issue that this part of the ward is mine, I don't need to do anything. But the reality of the question is those days are gone. People are looking for something new. There was a time when the Democratic Alliance used to have blue waves, what they call blue waves, on a regular basis in our community. Now you have the green machine that is running in, or you have the yellow, the black and gold hearts that is there, that is coming in there on the ground, and you have another green machine in the form of Herman Mashaba. And where we are sitting now, I can tell you, Pastor Carl, if you are looking at the community, in the area where I am, there's two political parties who has the financial resources, and you can see it, and that is the Democratic Alliance and the Action SA. Their banners, I think they had so much money that they printed banners for every poll in the city. It is there, they have done it. As far as the African National Congress is concerned, their budgets are dried up. I don't know where they're getting money from, but they don't have resources. We are seeing it. Never in the history of an election has the African National Congress woken up on the last 2 weeks of an election trying to put banners up or posters. So the question out there is, what is the electorate required to do? The electorate is responsible to bring change. And I am asking the electorate out there to bring change, and I am saying it in my manifesto. I believe in you who will bring change, because it is not up to us to bring that change. True. It is up to the electorate to ensure that we have credible and people of integrity. You know, one of the problems, if you look at the faces on those billboards and things, I'm going to tell you, in my community, I might not have the resources they have, but I have the credibility and the integrity that none of them have.
Yeah, that's strong. Yeah, that's strong. Yes.
So for me, the problem with these political parties is that they forget the smallest things. Basic needs. I always stretch it out. Basic needs. For example, within my community, Kliptown Police Station has only got one van that's servicing multiple communities. So as a political party, a big political party, how do you forget that? How do you forget that? How do you find yourself forgetting that your law enforcement station has only got one van that is supposed to be servicing multiple communities within the area? We only have one clinic in Pimville, which is Michael Maponya, and Michael Maponya Clinic doesn't even have an ambulance. It's understaffed. And the sad thing about this situation is that these big political parties forget to be in touch with the people. I'll make an example within the situation that we have within the community in Michael Maponya Clinic. We have a ward committee that has been working there for over 10 years, doesn't have a stipend, hasn't gotten paid. And the clinic is standing because of that ward council committee. So those are the kind of issues within our society that we need to fight for. Those are the kind of issues that we need to know in the ground. You need to make sure that you are in touch with all the problems that we are facing as a community. How can you have a police station that is doesn't have these resources, yet whatever open space that you find, you want to build flats for people? Because of that's overpopulation within our community. Of course, crime is gonna go up. Of course, we're going to be in a community whereby we are a gang-infested community. You know, for my situation, for our situation in Pimville, it's sad because of we together with Eldorado, with Eldos, we really changed the narrative within the community when it came to looting. Eldorado didn't loot. They said no to looting. Pimville took a stance and said, we say no to looting. Yet they don't appreciate the stance that the people took, that let us make sure that these communities get the kind of resources, because of these are the people that are taking care of their communities. These are the kind of people that are making sure that the community is up and running with basic needs. You know, I always say that service delivery, accelerated service delivery really doesn't need a master's degree, because, you know, picking up the phone and calling Rainwater to tell them that there's a burst pipe between Kemkele Street and Takodo Street. We don't have electricity since 4 o'clock in the morning. Our community needs to help these big companies like Eskom and Rainwater for accelerated service delivery, so that we can live in a better society. That's why we are here as independents, because of we are trying to push for accelerated service delivery that is advocated by the people.
Doctor, I think it's important also to note, I'm in the very area, same police station servicing my area. On Friday, we had an Uber hijacked right in front of our doors. The police calling, no answer, no response. The advantage was that I had one of the police captain's personal cell phone number on my phone, and I phoned him and said, Captain, this is the problem. I will not swear now. I want to hear nothing. I need a van coming out. In less than 20 minutes, the van is there. But we respond to things that is not necessary. The city of Johannesburg, for example, when there's a fire in the city, I don't know if independent candidates is aware of that. We have limited fire engines in the city. Yes, it is not, now and then people, we are looking just at the hoard. That hoard tomorrow will be affected by a fire. Last night in Shawela, there was a fire in opposite the Shawela Metropolitan Council's office, a fire. A person died there last night. The owners of the property didn't even come out yet. They waited for 2 hours for a fire engine to respond. People think that we are sleeping. We're not aware what is happening on the ground. We're well aware of what's happening on the ground. When it comes to service delivery, I say to people always, the councillor's job is not to make service delivery or to bring service delivery. Is there to monitor and ensure that those who are responsible to deliver services are delivering services. Because you are affiliated to the wrong political party, your hoard is suffering. That is the challenge that we are facing with. I can tell you, when we had an electricity crisis in our area, it took a lot of guts. We started our own steering committee. We forgot about the ward councillor because we knew we were going to get nothing from it. We took a steering committee from Klipspruit West. We went out, we got it. And I've never gone about and telling people. Today I'm telling people, an aluminium power cable was placed. That's why we have lesser cable theft in our area. No one knows about it. It took hard works. People will tell you that we sat for weekends and weeks without electricity because we had electric cable problem.
Yeah, I respect you, my leader, for what you just said now, because the same problems that you are facing are the same problems that you are facing as a community. Cable theft is a really big issue within our community. I want to firstly commend the community of Pimville, Klipspruit as a whole, because of where our cables run. They run next to the Rea Vaya Bridge, not so far from Regina Mundi. It was copper. People know where our copper, where our cables run. They are copper, and it's easy to steal copper. So in what we did as a community is that every time there was cable theft, we made sure that we don't want copper anymore because of we needed aluminium. Because aluminium, the lifespan of aluminium is a bit short, but it will help us because of aluminium deteriorates after like 8 years as compared to copper. But the problem is that copper is being stolen all the time. And there's a syndicate within Eskom because of how does a community member steal 50 meters of cable, knee-high, mind you, dig deep, knee-high, to steal a copper cable 50 meters long. So there's a lot of issues within our communities that we need to make sure as the community that we are fighting for. Like, for example, when we marched to Eskom, to the Megawatt Park, we specifically said we do not want any security personnel coming from Eskom. Let the people guard their own cables. Let security companies come from our communities because that itself will be job opportunities. But instead, you know what they did? They brought Bidvest.
Exactly.
You know?
Another thing.
Let me hear what David have to say, then we get to you.
We're almost running out of time, and I think there's something which I'm hearing we're talking about here. We're talking about politicians or political parties on one side, and we're talking about independents on the other, and we're drawing the distinction between them, and we're showing, I think, quite well why it is that you should be voting for an independent, what the passion is, what the connection is. What voters must remember is that they're going to get 2 ballot papers. They're going to get one for the ward councillor, and that's what we're talking about here. That's why we're selling ourselves and saying we're the guys that are going to make it happen as the ward councillor. The other opportunity is for the voter to vote for the PR councillor, for the political party that they want. And my stance on this has been that I would ask my voters to really think deep and hard as to who they want to vote for. You mentioned a number of 200 political parties. There's not as many in Johannesburg, but there's a vast selection. Please, will the voter think about this? Look at what the party is that's going to suit his conscience, what is going to suit his priorities, what is going to suit his philosophy, and vote for that party, because that is also going to have an influence in the end of the day in setting up a new council in Johannesburg for the next 5 years. So the voter has those 2 opportunities. They have, please vote for us as independents, and then they have to choose very carefully and with a great deal of thought and care, I think, this time around, rather than just doing what my grandmother did. My grandmother did something, doesn't suit me to do it. I would like the voter to be really conscious of what decision he makes in his PR vote.
Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, let me just ask each and every one of you for another 2 minutes just to sell your views. This is a good opportunity for our viewers out there to make their pick between you and a bigger political party. So I want you to be very firm, look into the camera lens right in front of you, the closest one in front of you, and state your opinion, state your view, and tell them why they should vote for you during this specific time. Because it seems like, as if on face value, as if the bigger political parties doesn't take the independence serious. It seems like you guys are going to be a walkover. But since I spent the last hour with you in the studio, it seems like you've got a strong platform. People know you in your area, and they would love to vote for a face. They want to go to somebody's house. They want to know where you live and what you do for them. So I would love everybody here just to give a strong 2-minute impression to your voters out there. Tell them why they should vote for you as an independent person. We're going to start right there on the extreme right, and we're going to give our wonderful Dikeletsane an opportunity just to share with us.
It is time for voters to make the right choice. Vote for someone who is approachable. Vote for someone who will include you. The community needs to be included. The community needs to be listened. For someone who will produce, who will actually empower the existing NPOs and NGOs. We need to reduce the number of unemployment. People need to work. So it is time to engage together. We must empower the youth. The skills development programs must be there. We have to work together as a community, be united as one. So let's vote carefully. Let's make the right decision that we will never regret in the next coming 5 years. Thank you.
David Fisher, I would have to give you closing remarks, and why should your people in your area vote for you?
One of the things that I haven't made the point about yet, but which I think is very important, is active citizenry. We've heard about what the people in Pimville did. We've heard about what people are doing around here to look after themselves. And I think one of the things that an independent council is going to do is he's going to build on active citizenry. He's going to try and create a team type spirit in the community where if you see things that are wrong, if you see cable theft taking place, you report it, and we become active, and we become a greater force than just the individuals within the community. And we want to have cohesive communities. We want to have communities which believe in the same thing, that work towards the same thing, and that we can guide and lead them. I don't want to sound sort of overambitious, but we want to be the leaders. We want to be the catalysts in our communities. We want to be the thing that will build people together and build communities, because South Africa has to be built up from the bottom upwards.
I hear more and more the Ubuntu system there. It's like we take care for one another, isn't that so? Well, tell me, how do you feel about that in closing remarks, and give us a strong view to your voters out there. Kaebetsoe, it's your opportunity now to shine into the households there for where you are standing.
Yes. Nna ke kopa leng voteleng setjhaba sa rona, because I'm passionate about accelerated service delivery. Wherever there's a problem, I will be there. Wherever there's a solution, I will be there. I'll make sure that sports and recreation is an element to cap drugs and crime for the youth. I'm passionate about maintenance programs that I'm going to build around sports and recreation for the community. I'm passionate about service delivery, making sure that we have electricity, we have water, everything is fully functional, roads and infrastructure within the communities, no potholes, making sure hore re le batho ba community ra tshwarana and we build community at its best. My vision for the community is not a 5-year vision. My vision is 2030, where we need to build kasi ya rona re le youth, kasi ya rona re le community, a re tshwareneng batho ba rona. And please vote for me, because I'm the best candidate within the community that will bring change.
Mr. Kaebetsoe, thank you so much. Mr. Nkosana, I want you to give your closing remarks, and why should people vote for you as an independent?
Okay, thank you, Doctor. Thank you for inviting us here. It has been a very huge experience. I've learned a lot. And thank you to the viewers out there and some of the accolades that we got. We really need those good luck. To Ntlantla, who said good luck to us. Look, my closing remarks are simple to say, community of Ward 66, it's time for change. It's time to try something new. I know there is no comfort in change, but give young people an opportunity to lead you. Look at the list, look at the ballot, all the faces that are there. 5 years' time, they are going for pension. Then the planning there is going to take time. We live in a world of technology. We live in a world that needs energy. I have energy to cover the ward. I may not respond in time to all your needs, but I will make myself available where time permits. Go out there, let's improve the infrastructure. Let's work together. Let's get our communities back. Should I be voted in, the first thing that will happen is to have an office in the community where you can come in and raise your concerns, where you will know where to find me, where you will know where to find job opportunities that the city has, where we will together decide on projects that should be brought in the community, where together we will fight to improve the life of our elders, where we will fight to create opportunities for those that are aged 35 and 59 because they are not catered for anymore. So, sports people, I'm out there representing you. You know, njengoba ngisho, thuma mina ngizohamba ngibuye. Thank you.
Thank you. Shakir Baker.
Het is belangrijk dat ik vandaag voor u vraag om een verandering te brengen. Een verandering wat nodig is. A change that is necessary and it is important because political parties are running in circles with us. The time for change is now. It is important to remember that a councillor has more than one responsibility. And that responsibility is to cooperate with the community, have communication with the community, live with the community, and must be accessible to the community, and most important, must have integrity. And I believe that is what I'm bringing to the table. I'm not asking you to think about who to vote. I'm asking you to vote with your conscience, to vote for integrity, and I believe that you will vote for integrity. Come the 1st of November, let us make political parties rethink their position when it comes to the councillors that they have selected. The time for change is now, and we need to reunite our people on the ground. It is Ubuntu is our host has said, it is about the people, it's about you, it is not about me. And I'm saying the campaign that I am running is not about the councillor, but about the leadership and the people on the ground. And therefore, you know, you have always asked, dink hulle dan nie van ons nie. We are there to think for you, and you vote for us. Thank you.
That's the independence around this platform here this morning. The reason why we're running insights on politics is for you to make a quality decision. We are fair. We bring independence on the set. Next week we'll have more independence on the set, and then we'll just give them an opportunity. Well, I would love you please to subscribe and hit that bell. Every time when we're online, you will know that we are online. Well, from me, your host, Carl Hendricks, a beautiful, beautiful Tuesday to you. Mwah, all the best. You take care and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Take care and see you next time. Goodbye. Good morning, everybody. It is so good to have you here with me.
Imagine if you have your vision as the car with the right team.
Imagine how quick that vision will come into the picture. Something that was taking 5 years takes 3 months. This morning is all about the leadership and influence.